Monday, March 24th. Yeah, 24th. Uh, just around 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A very, very late live stream. Margot was incredibly difficult. Probably only fell asleep in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So it's been a long night. Today at the shop, that's the picture. The picture in the thumbnail of this. I finished the corner. It's not really finished. There's a lot of stuff that's in a pile here and a pile there rather than being in that corner. But I got the corner basically done. I got all the Cerebi on the Cerebus wall up uh, to starting at like 4 feet so that if people are sitting in chairs, they won't be rubbing against them. I redid the sidewall and I separated out people's art that we have for sale consignment and display art, and I threw a bunch of stuff out and I moved some things around. So it's kind of nice over there, but it's also kind of messy in other places, as always happens with these rearranges. But yeah, that's what the point I'm at. I'm at the point of moving around bits of art, putting things onto the wall, really just putting the finishing touches on everything until the sign, and of course the culling, which will be the sale that starts April 1st through April 4th, where everything will be discounted and a lot of things will be heavily discounted to give us more forward space. I've got a bunch of reorders coming in that I feel like I really need to have as more people come out in nicer weather, which is the topic of discussion that we're going to get to in a second. So I really need to do the sale and clear a lot of stuff, but I also need to make sure that the shop is ready for a sale, for more people to come in, for there to be crowds, which it has been handling much nicer in the current arrangement, but it does get tight by the checkout. So I'm reconsidering that a little bit. I may slide it back. I don't really know how I could though, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. But otherwise, we're basically I think good. If I slid it back, all I'd be doing would be moving the case farther back and not having that little corner that I tucked myself into in the front. We'll see. But the topic of conversation is what is the comic shop? A lot of conversations that I've been having lately, since probably the last 2 or 3 years, a lot of the conversations I've been having have been why we're struggling, why the store is not doing well, what the issues are. But when customers are curious about how we're doing, people ask how we're doing, and if you know me, sorry, it's a message from my wife. If you know me, I'm going to tell you when you ask how it's going. And it's been rough. It's been rough for the last bunch of years. We've been talking about that. Like I just mentioned, we're going to do a sale April 1st through the 4th. Big discounts, specifically because things are rough. I have bills that really by the end of April cannot wait anymore, that have to get fulfilled. I've got a whole tiered system, but we've got to really bring in a nice spring windfall. So we'll start off spring with clearing a lot of space, and then hopefully by the middle of spring, we'll have a few days off, put up all the signs, get all the signs done and together, and boom, open up the shop with like a whole new look, which I'm very excited for. We're going to do a whole store tour. We're going to throw that on here. But the question is, who am I redesigning the store for? Who goes to the comic shop? Who is the comic shop meant to service? So an interesting thing that I saw, I think it was Sunday morning. It might have been Saturday night. Interesting thing I saw was somebody saying the comic shops are saying things are bad, but other comic shops are saying it's great. So there's very different kinds of comic shops in the world. It's like, yeah, that's not news. There's very different kinds of comic shops. There's 3,000 comic shops in America, and there's about 2,500 different ways to run a comic shop. But then I saw a comic shop chime in. And the comic shop said, this woman who owns a chain of comic shops, very successful, not chain, 2 stores, very successful comic retailer, really, really excellent comic retailer, says, yeah, new customers are coming in. People are very excited about the Absolute. They're very excited about the Ultimate. Never been more people in the last few years just jumping into series and getting stuff started, and there's stuff coming out that they're excited about. And I don't disagree. We've had a whole bunch of new subscriptions from the Absolute and the Ultimate series, a lot more than almost any other series has generated for us. And a bunch of those subscribers have jumped onto other series, specifically DC's All In. I'm not arguing that at all, but that woman's store is a mega comic store. It's a giant store that features toys, statues, games, cards, back issues, posters, apparel, and comics. That's that's a lot of stuff. So the fact that people who are already in buying this stuff are buying more comics or are showing more interest in comics is great. But I would love to see the numbers of how much percentage of business is comics now compared to 2 years ago. Has it actually gone up? Or are you just selling a few more comics to a few more people, but mostly your business is selling other stuff? I believe for most comic shops, it's not the case. You can be a mega store. You can do that. I saw a great customer of mine who I know only gets deals. He's very deal minded. He's very specific about what he wants, how much he's willing to pay, the condition of the book, and not in a bad way. He's really very chill about it, but he also knows what he wants. Um, he posted that Fourth World made a great deal for him. He goes, "Oh, thanks for Fourth World for grabbing me. This is 6 copies of the first Luna Snow. Uh, for this first appearance, that first," and I bet they made him a great deal. I bet they sold him some stuff at an incredible discount because Fourth World Comics has warehouses full of recent back issues. Now, there was a Red Tornado Silver Age first appearance. It's not a super common issue, but that copy looked sharp. When a copy is very clean, the price is a little bit higher because you're willing to go down when people buy a bundle. Stores sell back issues. They regularly move that stuff, and then they go, yeah, more people are reading Absolute Batman, right? But are also what's increased though in the last 2 years? People buying Absolute Batman or people buying Major Keys? Probably people buying Absolute Batman. But the point is, there's a billion different things that these stores are selling and services they're offering, book clubs. It's not about how well Absolute Batman is selling. I highly doubt. I am absolutely willing to be wrong, but I highly doubt more than 25 to 30% of comic shops make most of their money off of single issue new comic book sales, single issue new comic book sales, comics from within the last year and a half, sales of those being the majority of their business. I find it highly unlikely, but I also am an incredibly ignorant person. I do not know every comic shop in America. I know personally, a few dozen, and in name, 100, 3,000. Like, so I don't know. Maybe I know 200 names of comic shops, whatever. There's a lot out there. I don't know how they're doing it. But, okay, look, we just had a comment thrown out here by a stop motion enthusiast, I believe. Check out Speechless by Aaron Stink. It's a great book. About Archie Comics. Archie Comics barely publish comic books anymore. Every week, a new Jumbo Digest comes out, $9.99, by the way, $10 for one of those Archie Digests. And they have a line of horror, chilling adventures, which are all one-shots that occasionally become miniseries that continue. They did a Bingo Wilkins as a cult leader, if you can imagine. And that was a special, then it was another special, then it was a 4-issue series, and then they haven't done anything with it for 2 years because the 4-issue series didn't sell very well. And then every season, about 2 or 3 months, they do an Archie one-shot for $3.99 of just like Archie Rock and Roll, Archie Spring, Archie Winter, and that's it. Meanwhile, they make a webtoon, 2 web comics on Archie's website, and I believe there's actually a second webtoon that just started with Katie Keene. So they're making Archie content, but they're not printing that many single issue comics anymore. I have a whole video about it. You can watch it here on YouTube. Wither the Single Issue. I made it almost a year ago, and if anything, almost everything I said in it has happened. In the sense that people have, because of the Ultimate books, because of this new Absolute line, which I had said was about to start, came in, been interested, started hold lists, added books, and gotten more books because of it. But it's such a tiny margin. For me, I need to convert those people into graphic novel buyers. I have to have them picking up 2 or 3 issues when they come in once a month, and then going, and that's really good, this graphic novel, I'll grab that too. But here's the thing. Comic shops all do different ways to do that, to convert people to buy their other stuff. Either it's buying pops to start buying other collectibles, to maybe start buying back issues, to maybe reading new issues, if that's their goal. If it's just to sell them stuff, then stocking this. If someone's coming into your store weekly and asking, do you have new pops? You're probably going to start stocking pops on some level, especially if you already have them. You're going to start saying, what kind of pops are you looking for? There's specific brands? Are you looking for rare prototypes? And but you also don't want to change your whole store just to sell that person's stuff. You want them to convert over to other things. That's what you do in a store. So for me, I'm trying to convert these new people coming in for single issues to buy graphic novels. But always my goal has been for just anyone walking in off the street to be able to buy a comic. I had a kid who almost bought the New Adventures of Turning Red last week. Instead, I pointed out that we had the Four Town manga, which is much better. They like a Four Town manga. I'm like, yeah, it's really good. And I gave her the Four Town manga. Great. Her grandmother was like shrugging. She came back in. She was my first customer today to buy the New Adventures of Turning Red. She loved the Four Town manga. It was great. I said, okay, this is different. It's not as much fun. It's a little bit more like a cartoon spin-off. And she's like, okay, but it looks fun. I'm like, no, it's great. She bought it, and her grandmother's like, yeah, I'm not into comics. And I was like, well, they really make comics about anything. And I said, if you're into murder mysteries, there's comics on that. If you're into historical fiction, there's comics on that. If you're just into regular fiction, to regular nonfiction or biographies, there's comics. I said, there's really comics of everything. And I think not even 6 months ago, it's just 6 months ago, I would have been a lot more pushy. I just said that. She went, oh, wow, really? But like very, like, yeah, that's nice. I said, yeah, there is. It's a great thing. Had a kid in today, same thing. Because a huge part of what I'm facing right now is that a large minority of people coming in know exactly what they're looking for. They just don't know why they're looking for it. They're looking for Absolute Batman #1 because they heard it's good. They're looking for Demon Slayer because they're watching it. They're looking for Berserk because they heard it's good. And years ago, that was my job. I converted those people to go, hey, look, I'm sorry I don't have that. I can order it for you. But if you were looking for that, I have this, and I have this. The options are overwhelming of what I have. I had someone who picked up Sleepless, just started talking to me about fantasy that she likes, went through why she likes Sleepless, showed her a million other things, and she left with Sleepless. I wasn't upset. She now knows there's a whole bunch of other stuff available, and hopefully next time she's back, she picks one of those, or it just comes back to see how much there is. That's fine. That's not the issue, but the issue is that I have tons of people who the book they're holding is not Sleepless. It's nothing. They go, I don't want anything. But if I wanted something that was D&D like, what would I get? And I'd show it to them. Oh, and if I wanted something that had Godzilla, it's over here. And then they go, all right. Yeah, it's too much to pick. And they're not being obnoxious. They really get overwhelmed by how much there is. So I'm really hoping the signs allow people to self-direct, keep my intense enthusiasm about each book and how great it is to little placards rather than me running all over the shop. Hopefully give me time to list some stuff on eBay. I think is going to be the easiest way to quickly turn around cash is to just take $20, $30, $40 books we have on eBay and let them just bid. Start at like $5 and just move them along. Hopefully, like I said, the placards will allow that. But to do that, people have to come in. That's the real, like, it's a dirty, dirty secret. But the reason places have graphic novel clubs and signings and uh, sketch nights and everything is to get you to come to their store and be comfortable at their store, so that you will come to their store when you are in a good mood, when you're wanting to try something out and buy something. Yes, they make money at most of these events as well, but they want you to come to that store and that store to be a happy place for you. I want that too. I can't get signings together at this point. I have now had two opportunities where I thought, okay, let me lock the signing in place, and I just went, no, I can't do it. I'm not there. The store is not in a stable enough situation, period, for me to just, if Alex LeCampi, out of the blue, Alex has a new book, by the way, out tomorrow, Reversal, the great Skylar Partridge. Who was the other person on it? Oh, Kelly Fitzpatrick on the colors. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Absolutely wonderful. Uh, this is this is Alex's Paper Girls. No, it's not. No Mercy was Alex's Paper Girls, and it was before Paper Girls, so let's not get into that. This is Alex. 20 years ago, the world just suddenly got magic, and it's dirty old fey magic that has a cost. And now this is how life is. But like I said, Skylar Partridge, fantastic artist. Kelly Fitzpatrick on the colors. Really beautiful book. No one pre-ordered it. No one heard of it. No one knows about it. It was on Comixology years ago. It was rave reviews when it was on Comixology. I think it was Comixology years ago. It might have been some other platform when Comixology went under. But oh yeah, this might have been one of the ones that was supposed to be on Comixology and never made it. Anyway, sorry. I could sell 5 of these, but currently I can't. I can't even order them. But anyway, Alice Campy calls me up and goes, "Hey, I want to do something for the Reversal. Can I just come on out? I'll let people know. You let people know." I'd be like, "Sure, Alex. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that sounds like fun." I'm trying to get Yao and her students at FIT to come out for the Free Comic Book Day event. Yeah, because I know I literally Yao made our she made our tote bag art, that art that we have in our tote bag 13 and a half years ago for us when we did the Kickstarter for the story. Yeah, I was an old friend. I can do that. But Malachi Ward, who has a bunch of books coming out right now, he goes, "Hey, I'm in New York. Let me come out." I'd be like, I don't know what to tell you, Malachi. I don't know what I would do. My social media posts are like, they get to a level and it just stops. Customers constantly miss sales, order deadlines, all sorts of things. Yeah, I saw it. I forgot about it. So we have created a wonderful store, I think, and we have created a really beautiful store to come into whenever you're around the area and check it out and always find something new. And I love that. But less people are coming around the area. I had Dr. Thorne came back this year, and it's like, yeah, but how many people are coming from other countries and lecturing at Cold Spring Harbor? They have someone there weekly. None of them are going, and they're all brought into town for trips. I know for a fact. I know people who work there. None of them are going. I want to check out that comic shop. Why aren't we internationally famous? I guess is what I'm saying. No. So whatever it is that we're going through right now, it's uniquely, like I was saying, it's uniquely our store. So I can't look at solutions necessarily that are working everywhere else. But I'm open to them. I'm trying to think of what to do. I think getting the signs up so that summer people can ignore me, just come in because we've got AC. Look at all the little placards telling them about what every little thing is. Superman eats at Chinese chain restaurants. Because I've heard people go, "Superman eating ramen? What?" But they don't pick it up. So getting someone to do a large placard that just does 2 of the panels in it, where Superman eats something, Joe knows. Superman eats something, goes, "It's super delicious," and his heat vision goes off. Just to have someone I know copy that onto a placard for me, that would sell a dozen copies. And then I could stock a dozen copies at a time. Right now I'm stocking 2 or 3 copies of a book at most, unless it's The Wizard of Earthsea, Aaron Staying Speechless, stuff that I'm telling everyone that they should read. if it's not that, like, Reversal's very good, but I never read the entire thing. I read bits of it digitally. If I had the time and the gumption, I would have read it digitally before now, and I would have gone, oh, I can sell 10 or 15 of this. Odds are I'll reorder it, because I will be able to. Alex has huge cross appeal, but it's so untrue of so much stuff. And there's so much stuff coming. Anyway, that's way off topic for us. My point is, the plan right now, get the placards. Let's go in order. April 1st, The Culling. Giant sale, April 1st through April 4th. I will be doing posts here on YouTube promoting all the stuff. So we're going to have like $3 manga. Lots of 75% off stuff. So check it out. April 5th through April 14th, which is Passover, will be reshelving after the sale. Hopefully the sale we will move a few hundred books. I would love to do that in a few days. That would blow my mind. But let's say a few dozen books that help make room, rearrange stuff, and get more stuff face out ready for the signs, which should be arriving over the Passover break. And when we come back from Passover, Escape Pod 2.0. Keep that fine-tuned until Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day is May 4th. When God willing, we will have a FIT comic creation class with their anthology. And that's it. If Free Comic Book Day goes as well as I hope it will, with the signs, with a sale, with a unique group of people coming into it, we'll launch into a good summer where I will be able to both keep the store more heavily stocked than the stuff that moves. That's really the goal. Keep my new order numbers super tight, but just keep ordering whatever people are buying off the shelf. Right now I get Invincible compendiums. I get 2 or 3 at a time because I can't afford the bill when it comes due for 5 Invincible compendiums that cost me like $40 each, along with every other bill I have. I got to space it out, but hopefully if they're moving every day, then that won't be a problem. Things like that. Fine-tune that over the summer and then go into winter super lean. But we'll see. That's the long-term plan. No one knows what's going on. No one knows what's going on with this country. This went way off. I had a much different conversation to have about comic shop and community and why people go. I had all these anecdotes prepared, and then I went way off because I'm very anxious. I'm really very anxious about everything we're trying to do at the store, and I really need to remind everyone how precarious it is. People keep coming in and telling me how great it looks, and I'm like, yeah, it's been a lot of work. It looks great. And now it's been looking great for a week or two, where it's really been solidified, I think, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and people are going, is it working? Is it helping? And I'm like, yeah, when we clear out all this dead weight, it will help immensely. When I take all the stuff that's no one's buying and can just discount it and move it. So that is The Culling, April 1st. Okay, set a reminder. Put it in your phone right now. Just write The Culling at Escape Pod. April 1st through April 4th. We're, like I said, $3 mangas, 75% off. Graphic novel. I've got an entire bookshelf, A to Z graphic novels. It's going to be half off. Just buck wild during the sale. So come on to that. Put it into your calendar. Tell your friends. We're going to Long Island April 1st or through April 4th. All right. And tomorrow we'll look at a couple of the new books like Reversal. And remember, until then, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.